Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at how to factorize three-term questions. So we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So there's a specific method for these ones. Now if you haven't already, make sure that you look at the video for how to factorize two-term questions and how to factorize the video on 4-term questions. And then look at this video, because you need to understand the other two methods before you take a look at this method. Now, these are very common in the Junior Cert Higher Level paper, so really important that we understand these. These are also known as quadratic equations, and you'll see letters squared in them normally. And there's no other method. Like if we try to do let's take out what's common. Well, there's nothing in common to all three, so that's not going to work. Now, there's a specific method for these, and we have it written down over here. Some steps to follow. And the first thing we have to do is we have to find the guide number. Okay? Now, how do you find the guide number? Well, it's the first number by the last number. So the first number we have in this question is 2. And the last number we have is minus 18. So the guide number, let's do it up here. The guide number is 2 by minus 18. What does that give you? It's minus 36. So there's my guide number. That's my guide number. Right, what do we have to do now with that guide number? Well, I have to factorize this guide number. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, I need to consider what numbers multiply by each other to give me minus 36. What multiplies by each other to give you that number? Well, 1 by minus 36 would give me minus 36, wouldn't it? Also, minus 1 by 36. What else? 2 by minus 18. I've just done that, haven't I? And minus 2 by 18. 3 by minus 12. And minus 3 by 12. What else? 4 by minus 9 and minus 4 by 9. Now, where am I getting all these numbers from? Well, I'm doing it out of my head because I'm going through my times tables in order. So I always start with 1. 1 by what will give me this? Well, 36. And then I go to 2. And then I go to 3. And if it doesn't divide into the big number, if 3 doesn't go into it, well, then I skip to 4. And then I go to 5. And then I go to 6. And you can use your calculator to help you. When you get to, let's say, 6, you could say, does 6 go into minus 36? And you type in minus 36, divide by 6, divide by 6. And then press equals, and your answer will be minus 6. So then you know the factor is 6 by minus 6. Okay? That's what you're doing in your head, and the more you practice this, the better you will get at it. So I've done enough for the moment. I'm now going to look at step 3 to see if I've done enough to get me onto this next stage in the question. And step 3 says, find the factor pair that will add to give the middle term. Now I need a little highlighter for this because this is important. What is this middle term? The middle term we're talking about here is the middle term in the question, this number here. And really I shouldn't use, now that I think about it, I shouldn't use the word term. I should use the middle number. Okay? What's the middle number? The middle number is minus 9. So which of these factors over here, I've got one here, I've got here, I've got all these factor pairs. Which of them can give you minus 9 when you add them together? Well, 1 plus minus 36, that's not going to give you minus 9. That's not going to give you minus 9. 2 plus minus 18, no, that's going to give you minus 16. Minus 2 plus 8, that's going to be 16. 3 minus 12, yeah, that gives me minus 9. That gives me minus 9 right there. So I have found my factor pair. Here it is right here. That's the factor pair. Okay? I've found my factor pair. Now what do I need to do? I need to rewrite this question that we've been given using the factor pair instead of the middle term. So what that means is I'm going to leave 2x squared, that's fine, but I'm not going to use minus 9x anymore. I'm going to use this factor pair over here. I'm going to use 3x minus 12x, and then the last number is the same, that doesn't change. Okay, so I've rewritten this little term here. I've rewritten it as this. So I'm using my factor pair to rewrite that. Okay, now why did I do all that? Well, I did all that now because now I can factorize using the 4-term method that we looked at in the video up here on how to factorize 4 terms. So I'm going to continue as presuming that you have seen that video already to finish this question off. Okay, so I'm going to start. I'm just going to rub out what I've just done because I now need to break up my little expression here into little groups of two terms expressions. So let's factorize those and let's factorize that. Okay, what's in common? Do we have a common number? No, but we have a common letter. It's x. X by what gives me 2x squared? Well, 2x. And x by what gives me 3x? Well, 3. Leave my sign blank for the moment. What's common here? What goes into both of those? What's the biggest number that goes into both of those? 6. Have any common letters? No. 6 by what gives me 12? X. So it needs to be 2x. And 6 by what gives me minus 18? Well, take a look at this first bracket at this stage. Remember that these two brackets need to be the same. They need to be the same. So this here is going to need to be a plus 3. Because this is a plus 3. And now I can worry about this middle sign. That's why I always say, leave the middle sign, this sign that goes here, till the very end. And work out what it would need to be to recreate what you have up here. So 6 by 2x, I need that to be a minus 12x. So this has to be a minus. Because minus 6 by 2x, that gives me minus 12x. And yet the minus is perfect because minus 6 by plus 3, ooh, we have a problemo. And that would also give me minus 18. So we know we're right, and because we have the same thing in the first bracket as is in the second bracket. So we put what's outside the brackets, which is this x, and this minus 6. Don't forget the sign in front. We spent plenty of time working on it, so don't forget it. And then we write that repeating bracket just the once. Now again, if that's not clear what's going on, you need to look at the video on how to factorize 4 terms. Because really we're just looking at this guide number bit. Steps 1, 2, and 3 really is important in this video. I'm assuming you can do number 5 by looking at that other video. Okay, let's look at another one of these questions and try this one. And then you're going to try one in a moment. So let's move these steps down first. Okay, like magic, here we go. There we go. Zoom in. Right, what's step 1? Find the guide number. How do we find the guide number? By multiplying the first number by the last. Well, there is a first number there, we just can't see it. It's 1. So what's 1 by 18? 18. Okay, there's our guide number. Now let's try and factorize. Step 2, let's try and factorize this guide number. What are the factors of 18? Well, 1 by 18, 2 by 9, 3 by 6. What else? I'm going through them in my head. 4, no, 4 doesn't go into 18. 5, no. 6, yeah, 6, but I've already got it there. Look, 3 and 6, 3 by 6. 7, no. 8, no. 9, yes, 9 by 2, but I already have it. And that's it then. So I've gotten 3 pairs. Now, which factor pair will give me the middle number when I add them together? What's my middle number? Well, I'm looking at minus 11. Minus 11. What can I get 11 from? I can get 11 from... Ooh, and a little side note there. More factor pairs, by the way. I'm just realizing this. Minus 1 by minus 18. That would also give me plus 18, wouldn't it? And minus 2 by minus 9 would also give me plus 18. And minus 3 by minus 6 would also give me plus 18. So there's more factor pairs. Now, which one of them will give me the middle number? Remember, the middle number, let me just highlight it. Get a highlighter there. The middle number for us to, in this question, is minus 11. Now, where can I get minus 11 from? From any of these factor pairs? Will it be any of that? Will it be 1 and 18? Will it be 2 and 9? Will it be 3 and 6? Will it be minus 1 or minus 18? Minus 2 and 9? Minus 3, minus 6? Well, 1 plus 18 is 19. 2 and 9 is 11. 3, now 11, is 11 it? No, it needs to be minus 11. And 2 and 9 just give me 11. So it's not 2 and 9. 3 and 6 give me 9. No. Minus 1 minus 18, that's minus 19. No. Minus 2 minus 9. Yeah. That gives me minus 11. So that is my answer. That is my factor pair. Yeah, factor pair that I need to use. So I need to rewrite this now as n squared. I'm not going to use minus 11n anymore. That's gone. Instead, I'm going to use minus 2n minus 11n. And then the plus 18 at the end stays the same. And now I continue on factorizing step 5 using the 4-term method. So what's in common here? N. N minus 2. What's in common here? Ooh, tricky. Oh, I've written that wrong, didn't I? That shouldn't be 11. That should be 9. Yeah, a bit of a boo-boo there. It's minus 2 minus 9, so I just a slip of the finger. So what's in common here? Well, 9 is in common. So leave that sign blank for the time being. 9. And it would need to multiply by n to make 9n. And it would need to multiply by... Remember, this has to be the same as this. So let's put in our minus 2. 9 by 2 gives me 18, but it has to be a minus 2 because it needs to be the same as this first bracket. Now let's worry about the sign that goes in here. What would it need to be? It needs to be a minus 9n. So 9 by n, that needs to be a minus. Now that I've that done, I can put them into a pair of brackets. Excuse me. And write that repeating bracket just once. Okay, pause the video and give this question a go, and then restart it to see the answer. Okay, here's the answer to that question. There's the guide number. used to find the pairs of factors that will give us the middle number, and there's our answer.